If I feel like it's time to release music, and I will release some singles as well. Well, I started as singer and songwriter since I think around 20, but at the moment I didn't find my certain style until 2 years ago. I came here and I had a connection with different Dutch producers and songwriters and artists, so I started making music with them, and I started learn a lot of professional lessons from school, from my teachers and everybody around me. And at that moment I found my certain style, which is electronic pop and soft R&B with the producer called WinWel.
I'm a music producer and a artist as well. I produce music under my own alias called WinWel, and I'm also a ghost producer, for example, for rappers or singer-songwriters like Ryan. So I make music for myself and for other people, and besides that I'm also a professional videographer and editor.
Well, basically I started doing this album since last year, around September, I think. I had this kind of like ideas in my mind for a long time already. I was doing that for school, but I was searching for a producer that I can work with. And then I met WinWel on the train. We were on our train to watch the horror movie, and but I knew him before. We're just not that familiar at the moment. So we had a short conversation, and he's like, "Oh, you're having an album like concept or something." Yeah, I'm like, yeah, but I really need a producer to help me with that. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I can help you with that." So we just directly set up a short session next week, and then everything just started.
It started out as just working, just like a customer kind of vibe. I just sell my music to him. But eventually it just grew into really good friendship as well, and we just started to have so much fun making and creating the music that the work part kind of got overflown by the fun we were just having.
During from last September till this September, we had been making music in this studio and writing and sharing opinions with each other and producing everything, and it's a really fun process. I really enjoyed it, and recording as well. And eventually the album came out, and I'm really proud of. I think the whole album is really personal. I would say from the beginning to the end, I wrote it as a completely like concept. So the upper part is more groovy, like bright and sexual. It's part of my emotions and feelings as well. The second part is really dark and super fragile and emotional. I think two parts, like they both are me. The original title actually was called Anti-Stereotype. So I shared with WinWel, and he was like, "It's too fake, anti-stereotype. And what about just calling it I'm Not Your Type?" It has a certain message as well. We don't need people to put a box, like, so we have to act like in a certain way. It's also like, if you don't like me, just go away, I'm not your type. So I was like, yeah, it's a cool title. Let's call this album just I'm Not Your Type. It can be very feminist as well. It can be about equality. It can be about being confident, encouraging people to be more confident. It's a message not just only for me, but also for everybody. I was 7 when I started playing music, but that was classical piano. One day I just woke up and just told my dad, like, "Hey, I think I want to learn piano." They were like, "What? How come?" I was like, "Yeah, I just don't know. I just want to learn how to play the piano." Yeah, I think that when I was 7. I didn't have a specific idol or a favorite singer at the moment because I was too young. Until I think around 13 or 14, a singer from Canada called Avril Lavigne. I heard her music, so I was like, "Oh wow, this sounds really inspiring." So at that moment I started like, oh, I think maybe I can trying to write music as well. So I started writing my own songs in math class because I hate them. I hate the class. Everything started from that point. I can express my emotions and my opinions through different kinds of music, like especially my mood, like what am I feeling today. So I just express it through music. For example, like I went to a songwriting camp like for like 4 days. Each day we had to write different songs with different team. So every time we just start introducing ourselves. Hi, how are you guys feeling today? And then we start writing different kinds of songs. I think that's the part that I really really like. Sometimes if you play your music to the person who is into the genre very much, and he would say, "Oh, this is fantastic." But if you play it to someone who's not into your genre, but you thought he was good, and then the words that he said maybe will have like negative influence on you. So that's what I mostly don't like.
Yeah, so the music video we made for Ryan was for puppets. Basically, Ryan just came to me with the idea of doing a music video for puppets, and I just asked them, okay, what is the song about? What do you want the music video to be about? And we basically just came on the topic of fake news and just people believing everything they see online in newspapers or whatever. And I just began brainstorming of scenarios that we could film in. For example, I immediately thought of newspapers and just like really overreacting stuff with newspapers. So I came up with just Ryan's head being surrounded by newspapers, which was the first shot we shot.
The most memorable venue for me was definitely Metropole. That was my first album release show, so a lot of people came out, which surprised me. And second, I had such a good team, like everybody, including the support. Also, I had WinWel and everybody around me, and all my friends showed up, and my friends' friend, and a lot of Chinese people showed up as well. So I'm so glad that they enjoyed it and that night, and I'm still very proud and very happy about that night. Well,
I see myself more like an artist and music producer, like an artist who produces my own music. That's the main event I'm going for.
If I feel like it's time to release music, and I will release some singles as well, because I don't have an album project yet, because I think the music industry is changing very rapidly, especially in recent years. So people don't actually pay attention to an album already. It's better to release multiple singles to keep active. I think that's good. So right now I'm diving deeper into my artistic identity, like what do I want, what do I feel like, what does make me sound unique and special, and what kind of stories do I want to tell in my upcoming new music. Because if I want to release it, it has to be a next level. So I'm very picky about my own music as well. So I think for the next 2020, I think I will just keep challenging myself until I'm very satisfied about everything. And then I would say that, okay guys, I'm ready, here's my new music.